Marketing TV. Today we are checking out the future of mixing. This is the Smart EQ3 by Sonible, and they've done something that is pretty dang awesome. So they've made it so that from EQ2 to EQ3, we've gone from single instances to the instances being able to see each other, but you can put them in a group. So I have a group here of everything together, and you can actually go into this group and organize what you want forward in the mix and what you want backwards in the mix. And it will calculate some cross-channel stuff to decide how it should change the EQ when we do this. So right now, it should be a drum forward mix. Let me play it for you. Now, if I take the drums and move them back, we could put, for example, the vocals on the lead along with that string melody. So we'll just grab this and pull it up. And you can see you can choose what profiles it uses to learn. I just left it on universal. So here it is. So there's group impact as well. We could dial this up. And just to show you, I think one that's really obvious to here is when we move, this is like all the little arpeggiations going on in the background. I called it sparkle. So let's put it in layer 3. All the way in the back. Now we're going to go ahead and take it. We're going to move it up to the front. And we'll move vocals to layer 2. And we'll keep string melody up there. And we'll move the bass back as well. And where's the drums? We'll put the drums on layer 2. So we should hear the sparkle come right to the front. So you can have multiple groups. You don't just have to have one. So let's look at how to set something like this up. Now, before I do so, I want to point out two really nice things that just are great quality of life things. The first one is if you bring the analyzer up, it'll actually show you all the other instances in your group. Actually, I don't know if it's group based or if it's just all the instances. I'm pretty sure it's group based. And when you play it, turn them on. You can see all the analyzers going. This is great for just checking out where masking can be occurring. And also it's extremely smooth. So sometimes they can be a bit choppy looking, but here they are just smooth as butter as far as visuals go. So really nice thing there. And also when you drop a new Smart EQ3 on something, like let's say I've got this harmony channel and I'm going to go ahead and drop a Smart EQ3 on this one, it will actually take, I have detached floating windows, so they're kind of in the way. But you can see here, it actually takes the name Harmony from the channel and uses it as the join group. It gives it the name, which is, I don't know. That's not something I'm used to plugins being able to do. And I know it's like a really small thing, but holy cow, is that cool to me. It's just so cool. So, okay, that aside, you load up a bunch of smart EQs on the things that you want to control. And then I'm going to come into here because I've already got them sort of loaded up. And I am going to, whoops, wrong control there. I'm going to go to a group and I'm going to dissolve this group. So we're starting from the beginning. So, okay, we've dissolved the group and then I'm going to click join group. And there's no group to join yet. You can have multiple groups and each group can have up to 6 instances. So in here, we're going to do join group. I'm going to call this, the master group just like I had before. And it's got the one instance, but you could see all the other instances, including the harmony one. Now, if they have the little squigglies next to them, it means the learning phase has already been done. We're going to redo the learning phase just so you can see it in action. So I'm going to have sparkle. We've got 3 layers, which is how forwards and backwards they are. I'm going to put sparkle on layer 2. I'm going to put the drums on layer 2. The bass, the real sub, that can go in the back. Now this I named it real sub, but this actually has some of the tonal parts, so maybe mess around with that. We'll take the vocal bus and we'll put that up front, and the string melody is something I want up front. And you know what? I'm going to put the sparkles in the back and the real sub up top. Now, when we do the learn phase, they went through and they have revamped a lot of their profiles to be a lot better. It was a major part of this update was creating much better profiles here. So if you have material that fits one of these, you should definitely try it. It's a lot more accurate to the signal type now. And then if it doesn't, like Sparkle, I wasn't really sure what to do. So I left it on like Sparkle, I wasn't really sure what to do. So I left it on Universal for that one. So what we're going to do is we're going to select an area of the track where all these things are going. If something isn't getting enough signal, it'll actually say like waiting for signal, and you need to go to a part of your track that has that. Or we're going to hit the record, and it's going to begin listening and calculating the values for your track as well as the others. And while you do this process, I highly recommend you only have one Smart EQ open because it could take quite a hit on your CPU during this particular part. After it's calculated the values, it's way lighter. You can have a whole bunch open at the same time, no problem. But during this part, you definitely want to only have one open. And let me go ahead and start the playback. I'm going to start it a little further back and hit record. Explore the universe. All right, so you saw that it went through and adjusted them all. And now when you move them from one layer to another, it is going to change. It'll update. So like check out the EQ curve. I'm going to go ahead and move this to the bottom layer. And you see that the EQ curve has altered versus when I move it up to the top layer, it changes again. So it's using those values that it calculated to determine, hey, how should I change this to make it sound like it's being placed differently in space. So let's go ahead and do a bypass all. And I'm just going to leave the group impact on 50 for now and play this. So this is without the Smart EQ 3 doing its thing. Explore the universe. All right, now let's go ahead and unbypass it and let's hear it now with the Smart EQ 3. Explore the universe. Now let's try moving things around. So let's bring the Sparkle up to layer 2. We'll move the real sub. Heck, let's move this all the way to the front. We'll move the strings back. I mean, let's just get crazy here. The drums, what the heck? We'll have the drums up front and we'll move the vocals to the back. So you wanted this particular balance, or if you wanted to experiment and say, hey, maybe this will work. It'd be kind of weird having the vocals in the back, but maybe it'll work out. Let's try it out. Explore the universe. Now let's go ahead and dial the group impact way up and let's just go all the way. So this is like maximum impact. You can see the curves visually get a lot more intense. And let's just hear those. Explore the universe. Let's try moving around in real time. So really cool way to quickly get a balance going and try various things out, things that you may not initially think, hey, let's try this out, just because, you know, we're so used to sort of vocals on top, drums sitting in a certain spot. And so you can really do a lot more creativity and sort of spitball ideas extremely fast. After you've got that all figured out, though, you could come in and, of course, fine tune things. So I'm on the Sparkle one, so I could come in, you know, make my adjustments here. And then I could go over to some of the other Smart EQ3s and make my balances there. But this is so cool. This is wildly cool to be able to have something that updates like this. And I've already got a whole bunch of weird ideas that you could try. For example, if you came in here, you created a group with several synths, and then you had a bunch of layers that form maybe one big super saw, you could use this to try and auto balance it. And that could be a cool way to achieve a nice smooth texture. And it might be interesting to have this on while you're creating the sound itself. So just a lot of interesting ideas here that this really opens up. So very, very cool. you have any questions about this, feel free to let me know. Subscribe and hit that bell icon for future videos, and have a blessed day. Explore.